So let's drop right into Chef Automate here. We've got the node state open. This is all of the Chef runs that have been running. And by the way, these are all of the server names. We got you covered. So in here,
we should have put one up that was repugnant.
We tried, but the system rejected it.
Yeah, I put that in.
All right, so if I go over here, I can filter for the acceptance environment where all the failed servers are.
Where does
I put that up?
Failed servers?
How do we have failed things in our demo?
I don't know. Elliot probably screwed it up. One sec. So we can look into this. I can look directly into the server. This is the one with the failures. It's been failing for a while. You can see that on the right-hand side with the history, right? It's not just me.
So if I go over here, I like best. We talked about having to get a view that works for someone in the job they have to do, right? So if your job is fixing infrastructure, you really quickly get into seeing like what's going on with the system, how long has it been going on. You get this sort of glimpse on the right-hand side about whether that status is new or old. This one's been failing since we did it. So, it was.
But we should find out why.
Yeah, we've been successfully failing this one. So if I click into the error log, we can actually drill down and see what's happening with this system. And then Elliot can go fix it, right?
Totally. Elliot's sitting behind the screen here, doing things. So that's why we're talking about him. He's a great guy.
Well, Elliot.
Yeah, let's clap for Elliot. Come on, okay, sorry. Go on with your demo.
The team has been working really hard integrating security and compliance capabilities into Chef Automate. And so with this latest release, for the first time, you get this view, this single place where you can go to understand the state of your infrastructure, as well as to understand whether or not you're adhering to your compliance policies. And so for this next bit, we want to show a little bit of that and show how our demo infrastructure is doing with respect to security and compliance.
That's right. So we did a completely new compliance view within Chef Automate. It's similar to the Converge view, obviously. Like I get a quick high-level summary of how my nodes are doing, all of my analysis, and what else I have been running. But I also get like historic information. I can look into how long this has been going on, and as you can see, it's been going on ever since we started this environment. And I can even drill down into what my most failing systems are. So you actually don't have to just look through the nodes. You can identify patterns really, really quickly. Like, is this just happening on Windows? Is it happening on my Linux systems? Is it happening to something else like development or just the acceptance environment?
And this view is really useful when you're starting out. So you deploy compliance automation across your fleet, and you're going to find a whole bunch of things that are not what you want them to be.
Absolutely.
And then you're not sure where you should start. And then you can look here or there, and you know where to start.
I love that idea of being able to look at what's most high risk and where, right? And then being able to use that as an evaluation of what I need to do next.
Yeah, that's right. All right. The other thing that's great about this, do you want to show the
yeah, so we got a second view. Remember those Friday mornings when the auditors finally come in and they're asking you for how you're doing on, let's say, PCI, payment card industry? And then you're shoveling for all the systems that you are running, right? You're showing them, I got 40 failed nodes, I got 60 successful nodes, and they're standing there like, I don't care.
Right, they don't care about your nodes.
The thing I really want to know is how I'm doing on the profiles. So how are you doing on PCI? How are you doing on all of your controls? So we've been running this across the environment. We can see that we have a lot of controls, which we've written for this today, and only some of them are failing. So this gives us a nice summary as well, historic information over here, as well as, well, you can see we're mostly running the Linux baseline, which is failing. Everything else is succeeding, so that's really, really nice. And we can, again, drill down into the controls that are failing the most across our infrastructure. With a really fast, really awesome view.
Right. All these failures in our demo already, I'm feeling changed.
Yeah, I know, right? Next year I'm going to demand no failures. It's not very DevOpsy, though. We'll have a post-mortem. It'll be super awkward. We'll just do it on stage. I'll sit here like a judge and be like, tell me again about the timeline. Go on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that having me up there is a good idea.
It's just exciting.
It's super fun. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, it's great. Obviously.
Yeah. These tests, right, with InSpec, one of the things that's really powerful is you can run them on a schedule, just like Chef Client, so that you're getting continuous compliance. You're not just testing your infrastructure once or on some ad hoc basis. You're gonna soon as something changes, whether you have a problem. And the other thing that you can do is you can put these tests, because it's compliance as code, that's InSpec for you, you can put it into your workflow. And so Carmen, in her talk with SAP NS2, was a great example of this, where she talked about how the sort of before state was the development teams and the ops teams doing work and pushing it through, and then kind of hitting this wall and this bottleneck with security, and like repeating the process a few times before realizing that they needed to do something different. And this technology allows just that. So when you move your compliance tests into your workflow, you're going to detect problems earlier, and it's less expensive to fix, and you're going to enable just that kind of collaboration that Carmen talked about that powers DevSecOps.
Might it become continuous?
And you can do it continuously.
Right. There's a theme. You guys got that? Oh, that joke did not land at all. It's fine. Screw you guys.
All right, so we've been talking about infrastructure and we've talked about the compliance, but again, coming back to the why, and the why is applications. And so we're going to use a little demo application, and I want to introduce that. And what we're using, it's a Rails application, and it's called Daphne. And Daphne is an online community. It's a website for people that have type 1 diabetes, and it helps them improve their health. And we're using this app because one of our own engineers, Simon Fisher, wrote this app. So thanks, Simon. Yay. Okay, so Rails application, Nginx is the front-end upstream proxy. It talks to a Postgres database. And the other thing I guess that's worth mentioning is for a site like this, security is really important, because people are logging in and they're sharing their personal information, they're sharing some health-related things, and so it's really critical for us that we keep them secure. So, this is an opportunity where we can talk about that our compliance automation doesn't just apply to infrastructure. You can use it to assess the security of applications. So let's take a look at that.
Right. So as you can see, this site is running on SSL, HTTPS. And that's something that pretty much all of you are confronted with, at least if you're running with credit card information. The deadline has been pushed, but people are still scared of the old SSL stuff that's running in their environments. So let's take a look. We actually have a profile for this ready to go today. We wrote an InSpec Daphne profile, especially for our Daphne app. And if we go into that, you can see that it's actually checking the SSL configuration of this application for a number of things that you should not have enabled. Like I said, something like SSL 3, for instance, you should really not be running anymore. Now the cool thing is, do you have to write everything yourself? No, you don't. So we got you covered. If you go back here to the profiles, click to the available profiles, we have a few in there.
108? What's going on? That's awesome.
We got a bit of time on our hand here. From greenfield to brownfield, so you have everything in here. And you can then pick the profile and run it on your nodes and run it on your apps. And if I actually go over here, I can see that Daphne is doing all right. It's all green.
Wait, just all right? Or is it passing or failing?
It's passing.
Okay.
Green thumb. Well, blue.
Right, blue check marks, passing.
Blue check, passing. Okay, so we've got the app in acceptance. It's in EC2. It's running. I checked on it. Okay, that's good. And we've taken a look at our infrastructure, and that seems good.
Seems great, yeah.
All right. And
I like that it's not failing.
Right, not failing.
It's super working.
It's an important place to start. And we think it's secure. So I think this is I think we're ready to kind of push this out
Push the button.
to production.
Yeah, let's go to production. All right, who wants to go to production? Give me a little round of applause.
Yeah.